A weed in my roof.
So about 10 years ago, myself and some children's poets decided, because children's poetry is a very lonely job, you don't meet a lot of other poets, you don't often walk down the road and, oh, there's another poet coming along. So we decided we would hold a retreat, and we've had a retreat every 2 years. So it's an occasion where we can meet up and we can, have a moan about publishers, and we can, we write poems. We run workshops for one another and sort of chat, and it's really, really good fun. And Liz, who one or two of you may know, said, "Hey, this year wouldn't it be great if we actually performed for some people?" So my name is Roger Stevens, and I'm going to just read one or two poems. I wrote this poem because I go into a lot of schools, and a lot of teachers get very, very... Are there any teachers here? It's all right, no, it's fine. It's not coming again. I'm not going to pick on you for the rest of the evening. What is your name? No, I won't. Okay, so, but a lot of teachers, well, you know this, I do get very concerned about whether poems rhyme or not. So I've written this poem. It's called "Who Says a Poem Always Has to Rhyme." There was a young man called Frank who kept his pocket money in the post office. When he'd saved enough, he bought an electric viola and celebrated with a can of coconut cordial. When he plays the viola, the whole house rocks. It makes your shoes dance and it frightens your...
Grandmother.
Granny. Frank plays his viola all of the time. Who says a poem always has to have the same sound at the end of the line as it had at the end of the line before? Okay, so thank you very much. So, as well as writing for children, we also write adult poetry. When I say that, I mean poetry for grown-ups, obviously, not adult poetry. And these are a few of my little poems just for adults. I'll read a few of these. It's called No Star Hotel. Never stay at the Heartbreak Hotel. Try the Travel Inn on the corner. If you stay at the Inn of Loneliness, both the staff and the guests will ignore you. For a weekend break, that's a bad mistake. Don't say I didn't warn you. You'll be so lonely you will cry. Likewise the Hotel California. It's called Zoo. Zoo. When we were kids, me and my brother had a zoo. It only had one animal, our dog. It was a Shih Tzu. This is called Famous Axiom. As Descartes originally wrote, I am fed up with French food, I think, therefore I am going out for a nice curry. Part of which was obviously lost in the translation. That happens sometimes. And a couple more. This is called Minton. We had a cat called Minton. He chewed up our shuttlecocks. Bad Minton.
Oh.
It was more of a joke than anything. Okay, all right. It's called Aesop. At writing, Aesop was tip-top. But his limericks, alas, weren't much cop. His first lines were fine, and his rhymes were divine, but he just didn't know when to stop, and always wrote a little moral on the end. Anyway, thank you very much. that gives you a sort of level of where we are with the level. So, yeah, so as I say, lots and lots of children's poets. We've been meeting for 10 years. Every year we have one or two poets who are a bit newer. We have poets that have been around for a long time. It's a lovely sort of group of people. The first, what I've done for the introductions, I've found some interesting facts about the different poets, just to help you a bit. So next up we're going to have Philip Waddell. And his interesting facts are: 1, pooed on by a tiger, apparently. You have to ask, I don't know, that's just what he told me. Number 2, he will eat anything except rhubarb, but would tolerate it if mixed with ginger. So, Philip Waddell.
I've got to follow Roger. It's always a jolly experience. Anyway, so my first poem is called Privet Keep Out. Hi, Hazel old stick. How's it going? Didn't see you hiding there. Out for a stalk, are you, with your bunch? Oh, Hayes, we were so sorry to hear about your Heidi. Imagine, pruned in her prime. The same thing happened to my poor old Uncle Cain. Terribly sad. But the greatest compliment to a stick insect, of course. Oh, sorry, this is my eldest, Bud. Bit of a weed like his dad, aren't you, mate? Not a fine strapping sapling like your Rod, eh, Hayes? I keep telling him that at his age, he ought to be branching out, making his own way in this big wide tank of ours, but he never seems to twig. Anyway, Hayes, much much. Be nice chewing the leaves with you. Maybe see you around sometime. By the way, did I introduce Bud? I think I probably did, or maybe I didn't. Yes, I did. Come on, Bud. Bud. Now, where's that boy hiding again? The older I get, the more forgetful I get. Anyway, this is I'm not sure. This is a tribute to one of my favourite fruits, and it's called M is for Mango. Outside, the hot sun shining bright. Inside, our class learning to write. We are spelling mango. We are smelling mango. Hanging outside, easy reach height. Outside, Sam is sucking a seed. Inside, all together, we read. We chant, mangoes are sweet and delicious to eat. This is how I used to study at school. Outside, Sam is doing the deed. Outside, it's a ripe mango day. Inside, we learn taking away with 3 mangoes from 4. I can't take any more. Miss, please, can we go out to play? This one has a slightly darker side to it because it's about Sweeney Todd, the demon barber of Fleet Street. It's called Snippets of Sweeney Todd's Ingratiating Barbershop Chatter. Good afternoon, sir, and how do you do? The weather is hot, sir. Yes, we're baking too. You new around here, sir? Oh, just passing through. A very smart suit, sir. Nice, that shade of rust. Makes you look a toff, sir. Yes, real upper crust. I don't flatter you, sir. Don't take it on trust. We're nearly done now, sir. Soon finish you off. Yes, sharp, sir, my razor, so try not to cough. Just my little joke, sir, we do like a laugh. Square hair at the neck, sir, and then a blow dry. Oh dear me, I slipped, sir. So sorry. Oh my. But still a neat cut, sir. You'll look nice as pie. This one is about a dragon called Ashley. Ashley, the friendly dragon, was a tragic social blight. He would gatecrash garden parties and he'd set the guests alight. He would start a conversation with a cheery, "How'd you do?" and turn the cold buffet into a blazing barbecue. How party people panicked when he called out of the blue. But what to do about it? Ashley hadn't got a clue. For Ashley, things looked grim until by chance, a lucky twist, the sad and friendless dragon met a stage ventriloquist. who taught him how to sparkle and to make his light remarks while keeping shut his kisser, thereby not emitting sparks. Now, when Ashley crashes parties, party guests do not perspire, and he's known as Cool Old Ashley, since he learned to hold his fire. I'm sort of cursed by the urge very frequently, most days, to write a limerick. And this one I plucked out, and it's called She's a Natural. I really couldn't let you get away without hearing a limerick. She's a natural. My mum's pretty good at coleslaw, and her fruit salads fill us with awe. And her lettuce is nice with a cucumber slice. As a cook, my mum's talent is raw. I'm a little bit concerned about this one because it's called Committed to Memory, and I'm not sure that I have committed it to memory, but we'll see, I'll try. I judge this poem guilty of wanting to be remembered. How did I reach my verdict? Well, hour after hour I studied it, considered it forensically, every word, over and over and over again, until my efforts led me to conclude that it was determined to be secured in the padded cells of my brain. So there, after hearing me explain, you may be thinking, but why ever did he bother? This poem isn't one he should have troubled to remember. Well, maybe not, but all the same, having heard its plea, I committed it to memory, where I've sentenced it to remain for the rest of my days. That last bit is wrong. Sorry about that. I should have called it Nearly Committed to Memory. Okay, a final little poem. This one is called Bedtime Mysteries. I should have done it absolute last, shouldn't I? Anyway, Bedtime Mysteries. Does Little Red Riding Hood rescue her gran? Is the Pied Piper a kindly young man? Do Hansel and Gretel escape from the witch? Do Jack's magic beans make the simple lad rich? Is Goldilocks eaten up by the 3 bears? Are tortoises faster at racing than hares? Is the old woman in Snow White a fake? Don't ask me. I don't know. I can't stay awake. Thank you.
Philip Waddell. Yes. Okay, now we've got the next two, your next two guests. Trevor Millum and Bernard Young. And Bernard Young tells me that he is a big star in Botswana, which is one of the wonders of the internet, isn't it? You can look on the internet and find out, who's reading your poems where. And he's played the same piano as Lennon and McCartney. Really? Not at the same time. That would have been good, wouldn't it?
I'm a lot younger.
Yeah, he's a lot younger. A lot younger, he said. Whatever. And he's been in over 150 poetry anthologies. Appearing with him in a moment will be Trevor Millum. Trevor Millum was once overtaken by a corgi in Buckingham Palace.
True.
It's true, yeah, it's true. These are all true, these facts. He's had over 150 poems published in anthologies. And so Bernard's coming up first, isn't he? So Bernard Young, everyone.
Yeah, the Beatles thing. I didn't really know the Beatles. I never believed it would happen, but I had the chance to be in Abbey Road for 2 hours and had lunch there. The studios, the pianos and things they had considered redecorating it, and they thought, don't tamper with it. And the pianos are there, really well worn, and I got to play on a bit. So can't believe it happened. Anyway, I'm glad earlier on Roger verified that there are some teachers here. And it's, checked, just so you can corroborate this. I go into a lot of schools as well, and I know from my visits, the holidays you get, and the summer ones that last quite a while. I do know from my visits to school, children, teachers, I would say usually 4 weeks into those long holidays, I know you all reach that point where you think, we're so fed up, I wish it was time to go back to school. So that's true. Yeah, I mean, the slaves were around, so. Anyway, I'm just setting the scene. This poem, if you can imagine, I think it takes place 4 weeks into the summer holidays. It's some boys at the start of it. But I have a little theme for mine, hopefully doing 3 poems, and there is a little love theme going through these. And so this one is middle of summer holidays. There's some boys. They've kicked a ball around for about 4 weeks. I'm not sure they want to go back to school, but they are very bored. And it's called Bored. Just, I say to children, see what happens in the middle. I'm kicking a ball, I'm kicking a ball, I'm kicking a ball against the wall. I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. I'm banging my head, I'm banging my head, I'm banging my head against the wall. Hey, there are some girls, hey, there are some girls, hey, look over there, where? There are some girls. I'm dribbling the ball, I'm heading the ball, I'm bouncing the ball back off the wall. I'm cool, I'm cool. Don't laugh. They fall about, you know. I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm cool, I'm. Hey, there go the girls, there go the girls, there go the girls have gone. I'm kicking a ball, I'm banging my head, I'm bored, I'm bored, I'm bored. I have a feeling I don't have to explain that. I do usually ask if somebody can tell me what's going on. Sometimes with the little ones at the front sometimes put their hands up and they say, oh, boys saw the girls and they wanted me to impress them. I say, and would you be impressed, girls? No. So preparing the boys. So one of the best answers, I think it would be a year 6 boy sitting at the back. I think the year 6 in the school were allowed to sit on the form at the back and all the others on the floor. And one boy put his hand up and he said, missed opportunity. Yeah, best answer. I don't hate it up. Oh, and just in another school, I said, anybody tell? No, at the beginning, I said, just to introduce a bit of poems. Some of you are getting a bit older now. Are any of you starting to fall in love? So at the front, they go, and at the back, there's occasionally cool ones nodding. And in this particular school, all at the back, in year 5, year 6, they just went. One poor red face. Anyway, so there is a theme going through it. I think the poems are about early love, this, because it can strike any time, can't it? And you know, I've not been here long, but I think I've made a connection with someone. I'm not going to stare at them. I just have a feeling. I've been sitting quietly, but you know, the quiet ones. Anyway, so this is for that. They know. This is it's called "Oh, I Think You're Wonderful." You're the wings on my aeroplane. You're the strings on my guitar. You're the star in my night sky. You're the garage for my car. Laura. Actually, in this book, children, I do say petrol. You're the answer to my question. You're the pen that writes my line. You're the spring in my onion. You're the tingle down my spine. You're the zipper on my jacket. You're the ketchup on my chips. You're the method in my madness. You're the promise on my lips. You're the headline in my paper. You're all my favourite smells. You're the last piece in my jigsaw. I am sorry, I thought you were someone else. Just before Trevor comes up, that was all children's part. I do have a book that's photographs that I took and poems that I wrote to go with them. And this one, it's inspired by a blurry photo of a blue and white, sort of blue and white umbrella. It's called Wonderful Weather. In the middle of my holiday, we met. It was a typical summer's day. Wet. She had a big umbrella, blue and white. She said, you can come under it if you like. Beneath it we were close, we stayed dry. I kept an eye on the marvellous sky. I thanked the Lord for each welcome rain drop and prayed that rain would never stop. It starts to get more complicated now as we bring instruments out. It's amazing how many of the people on this retreat play guitar. There's been a lot of guitar playing, hasn't there?
This coat is inspired by a book in my toilet. Which is lucky, really. It's called Age Doesn't Matter Unless You're a Cheese. That is the title of the book. Went to the doctor with a cough and a wheeze. I'm feeling my age, doc. Do help me, please. He said, age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. Take more exercise. I went back again, with pain in my knees. Can't touch my toes. Now, doctor, please. He said, age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. Eat more spinach. Ate lots of greens. Cabbage, peas. Green spots in front of my eyes, what are these? He said, it doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. You're overreacting. Overacting, maybe. Having trouble with recall? Is it amnesia? Surely an age-related disease, yeah? He said, age doesn't matter unless you're a cheese. Eat oily fish. Maybe I am a cheese. That would explain it with ease. Maybe I am a cheese. That would explain it with ease. Yes. Am I a rock for an old parmesan? Would I go best with Hans or Parma ham? Don't care for Edam, that wouldn't seem fair. Rather be cheddar or some nice camembert. Whether I'm from goat or from cow. Hey doc, I gotta feel better than I'm feeling now. Take it away, Bernie. Not that far. Leave back. So I went back to the doctor, said I've got a cure. Yes, I am a cheese, of that I'm sure. Like the cheddar in Lidl's, I feel extra mature. Feel content in my rind, this smell is me. I'm aged like a claret, I'm ripe like a brie. When there's blue in my veins, I really feel free. Ha-ha, we put the age in fromage. Not a word for the dogs, those busy GPs. Age really matters when you believe you're a cheese. Age really matters when you believe you're a cheese. Age really matters when you believe you're a cheese. Age really matters when you believe you're a cheese. Okay, this is a join-in one. I know people hate joining in, but you're going to have to. It's very easy. I'm going to divide you into 3 parts, like Gaul. That's a reference for those who did classics. Along here, that's you 3 at the front, 3 there, 2 there, 2 there, and 2 at the back. Okay. You're going to say easy read, because it's all about my alarm clock. It's an easy read, glow in the dark alarm clock. Okay, so easy read is your bit. It's not too difficult. Shall we try that? 1, 2, 3.
Easy read.
Well, not bad. Okay. Right. Okay, and then maybe from there, maybe this big chunk in the middle here down to the aisle. Okay. You're going to be glow in the dark. That's a good line, isn't it? Okay, really. 1, 2, 3.
Glow in the dark!
Oh, you showed then, didn't you? Yeah, come on, up you go. And then over here, I know I'm going to rely on this lot. Professionals.
You say that, but Laura's
Very
here.
professional. I'm going to do it twice. Okay. And just alarm clock. Okay, so 1, 2, 3.
Alarm clock.
Okay, no problem. So don't come in, when you're not meant to. That's the main thing.
Alarm! Oh, sorry.
You went off too soon in the middle of the night. Typical. So, okay, just, you'll know what your moment is. It's not difficult. And this is all true as well. Well, up to a point. Okay. My new alarm clock, it doesn't tick, it doesn't tock. It's a silent force in the night. It's a big red glow, it's a harrowing sight. Not sure I was right to buy an
Easy read. Alarm clock.
There's no movement, there's no sound as the time goes by and the minutes go round. No, it goes, it glows, it's all plugged into electricity, but is it strange? Is it me? The thinks a clock should be wound up and have a key. Oh no, it's my
Easy read. Alarm clock.
I don't need an easy read, I'm quite smart. I can read a book, learn stuff by heart with a sleepy look. But an easy read is all they had and it's all they took to sell me a
Easy read. Alarm clock.
But if there's a power cut or a power surge, or if it suddenly just gets the urge, it just freaks out, goes back to naught. Is that helpful? Not what I thought, but anyway, I have bought an
Easy read. Alarm clock.
last verse, say it all. So now it's there beside my bed, an easy glow gets inside my head. Don't need the glow, don't need alarms, don't need its beep, because I'm awake, because I can't sleep with my
Easy read. Alarm clock.
yeah.
That was good, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm glad you all after joining in. Okay, so that was Trevor, Millum and Bernard Young. Next we have Celia Warren. She would like you to know that she has a poem cast in iron on the fire station wall in Stockbridge. Oh, they like that, Celia. And she thought she was called Posy until she was 4. And she has published over 100 books. And she's in over 150 poetry anthologies. So, Celia Warren.
Sounds good when Roger says that, but he didn't mention a lot of the books have only got 8 pages. And also he didn't tell you I've got worms. And I hope you're a bit catchy. So I'm going to share some of my worms with you, and don't be afraid. If I could choose what I might be, I'd like to be a worm. And no one would say, "Sit still," to me, if I could choose what I might be. I can't sit still. You must agree, I wriggle, I squirm. If I could choose what I might be, I'd like to be a worm. I did have a pet worm, but of course they don't live forever, and when my worm snuffed it, somebody stuffed it. Taxidermy can be wormy. I'll just share one more worm with you. This is the worm who was afraid of the dark. "I don't like it out here on the surface," said a worm to her mother one day. "It's far too bright, I'm afraid of the light. Can I please burrow home now and play?" Oh dear, said her mother. "I don't like little worms that wail. It's a shame you haven't a house on your back. You should have been born a snail." Well, that gave the worm an idea. She dressed up in an old snail's shell. "Oh, Mum," called her echoey voice, "I'm a snail, but I don't like the smell." So if you find a shell, listen carefully. If you hear a small voice saying, "Pooh," then you'll know there's no snail inside it. It is occupied by you know who. The reason that a lot of my books are about 8 pages is I write a lot of stories and poems and little readers in reading programmes for schools. And so I was really thrilled when they commissioned me to write a book of poems. And it took me about 2 minutes because I've already got them on file, but it took longer to choose which ones. So I'll just read you one from here, which was inspired originally by Aesop, and it's called House and Home. Give me dark skies, lit only by moon and stars. Give me birdsong, no screeching cars. Give me honeysuckle scent and gentle trees. Asleep in the bluebells and moss you'll find my house, says Country Mouse. Give me sky, scraped by roofs and neon light. Give me no darkness, even by night. Give me the dizzy dance of wondrous wheels. Awake in the shimmering city you'll find my house, says Town Mouse. Town or country, I am no mouse. Give me only a house, a roof, a door, nothing more. Anything will do, says Shrew.
Thank you, Celia Warren. Okay, so the next person. So what's going to happen is we've got another 2 or 3 people and a couple of songs, and then we're going to have a break. The next person that needs an introduction. No, sorry, that should be doesn't need an introduction. You'll know who it is when I tell you that she once had a greenfinch, Griselda, whom she raised from a chick. Her grandfather helped build the Bluebird, who won the land speed record. And she has several books of poetry published and is in over 150 over and it's your very own Liz Brownlee.
One of these I need help with, Eric. Actually, Heather, can I undo the blinds and draw them so that there's only me in the middle? Yeah, just maybe a little bit wider. That's it. That's it. Right, okay. And they need to be completely blocked. It's like, yes. I see.
We're not even.
I'm a little bit. Thank you very much. Okay.
Liz,
yes?
do you want to take the microphone over as well so you can...
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, stay there. I've got my GCSE in the microphone.
Right, okay, so now I have actually learned this poem because I was filmed doing it earlier today, or maybe yesterday, or possibly before that.
Don't like
Okay,
two,
okay.
that's good.
Right, and but you know, with you all looking at me, I'm not sure that I'm going to be able to remember. But I hope I will. I have an assistant who is going to be ready very soon. Who's ready? Okay. It's called Back from the Future. Or Back to the Future. Back in the Future, that's it, it's called Back in the Future. This is going well. I can't remember the title. Yes. Just ignore that. This is called
That's what
Back in the
writers
Future.
do, they edit as they're going along.
Yeah. That is true actually, because it was called Back to the Future, and I realised that it was much better called Back in the Future today, so of course that's why I'm, Anyway, 65 or so million years ago, we crawled through the swamp and the slime. But one morning we woke and found we'd evolved, and now we could travel through time. We all left at once, you would have done too, for the year 3010, and we found ourselves on a future Earth ruled by strange little creatures called men. They've been wondering where we've got to, but they didn't expect an invasion 1/5 of October by time-travelling dinosaur. Well, we hunted them all to extinction. The harm they'd caused Earth was colossal. They were hostile and nasty. but they tasted quite nice. So now they're found only as fossils. I trust this is now going to go back to this. Who's Eric? Eric is actually a puppeteer from Seattle and a poet, of course, poet really, but he does do puppets as well. Right, well, I apologise if anybody has had this situation happen to them, but some time ago somebody was talking about writing poems that were in the same form as a poet had written long ago. So I wrote one, and this is based on a poem that was written by Hilaire Belloc, which is called Tarantella. But it's not called Tarantella anymore, it's called The Wasps and Ella. Do you remember the wasps, Ella? Do you remember the wasps? They came in a gang to harangue when we opened the meringue. From a few, numbers grew, and around us they flew, and you fetched the swatter from the car. And the eeks and squeaks and the panic-filled shrieks, and we moved the food to the restaurant cellar. Do you remember the wasps, Ella? Do you remember the wasps? And the eeks and squeaks and the panic-filled shrieks at the pesky little things flew around us in rings and the swings and the swipes and the swats. And the flip-flop flaps of the flaps of the slaps of the hands in a whirl and a twirl at the wasps all chancing, dancing, glancing, backing and advancing, buzzing at those madly missing shots, lots of swats, as you tried to trap one in a jar. Do you remember the sting, Ella? Do you remember the sting? What a fall, Ella, what a fall. And under the table sprawl, and paramedics coming to our call. The rise of the hives in your face, twice size, the dread, as you lay like dead on the ground. But then, EpiPen. But we will never eat outside again.
Okay. Yeah, we need to put this. Can this go back? Okay. Okay, so Liz. Okay, the next person is Sue Hardy-Dawson. She used to collect abandoned bikes and associated ironmongery. She once got lost in the toilets, needs met. And the good thing is that those of you that know anything about poetry and children's poetry especially, there aren't a lot of prizes for children's poetry. There should be, in all our opinions, but there aren't. The most important prize that there is called the Clipper Prize, and it's awarded every year. And Sue has been shortlisted for the Clipper Prize. Very exciting, and she might tell you a little bit about that. But this is Sue Hardy-Dawson. There we go.
Well, I figure you've had enough humour tonight, so I'm going to be really boring now. This is a poem about an otter, and it's from the Shape poem book that Liz and Roger and I also did. And I'm going to read you that. She's the voice of the river, all bubbles and folds. Chitters of pebbles went ebony morals, and her soul is cold mist and green fishy hollows, full of eddies and gunnels for her crystalline pommel. She's the echo of sunlight's mahogany hues, made of sweet autumn chestnuts, honey-made dew, with her burr-rich vowels of ripple rock gravel, of weirs and weeds on her rudder-tail pearl. She's a ribbon of silver on watery saddle, a pelt of damp pine cone, woven wet willows. She glides over floodbanks, all slippery belly, through the rapid white currents, its dim, reedy eddies. She's polished and chiselled her abode of dry clay, battered its hallways while rabbits away, and on its silt mantle her eyes like dark candles, to a mud matriarch of ripple and mire, fat on the fish of her otter's empire.
Fantastic. So this is one of my most recent books. It's called Waggiest Tales. It's all poems. I wrote it with a poet called Brian Moses, and we can't claim too much credit for the book because all the poems in the book were written by dogs. So we basically just had to go around and get the dogs, find dogs who write poetry, which is actually harder than you think. And so that's what. And I wasn't going to read this. I just remembered that I did write a poem. Lola actually has written a poem, which is in this book, which I've forgotten. So I'm just going to read you that one as well. So this is Lola's poem. If you've got the copy now, it's on page 54. If you have, you can look it up and share it. My name is Lola. I am Lola, the Labradoodle. My sense of smell is exquisite. I help my mistress when she's unwell, a bit like a doctor's visit. When her brain becomes fuzzy, her actions get slow. I can smell something's wrong, her blood sugar's too low. So I nudge her or bark or push her or tug till she makes herself better. Then she gives me a hug. I'm Lola, the Labradoodle. I'm a regular guy, just like you. It's just that my sense of smell is refined. It's just the job that I do. Well done, Lola.
She's very shy.
Yeah. She's not really a performer as much. She's more of a writer in the back. Okay, I'm just going to read you this. This is also from this book. It's called The Waggiest Tales. It's the yellow one, you'll see. Called Secret. You can bribe me with treats and biscuits and meats, but I'm not telling you where I buried it. You can yell, you can shout, you can stomp all about, but I'm not telling you where I buried it. You can stroke me and tickle me under my chin. You can say, just you wait till your mummy gets in. You can offer me caviar straight from the tin, but I'm not telling you where I buried it. It's my favourite toy. It's what gets my vote. I just love to chew it. It's what floats my boat. I don't know what it's for, but it's called a remote. And I'm not telling you where I buried it. Okay, this is Jan Dean, everybody. And Jan is going to come and read you one or two poems. Who starts this? I can't remember.
You start.
I'll start it. Jan is going to read some of her poems in the second half. But we've known one another quite a long time. And this is a book that we co-wrote. It's
also yellow.
Yeah.
We specialise.
We specialise in yellow. Yeah. We thought about red, didn't we, for a while?
Oh yeah, no, it just doesn't.
Common old colour. So in the end we went for yellow. So we've known one another for quite a long time. We both had lots of books published. We thought, wouldn't it be great to do a book of animal poems? So this is a book that we both did together. So we're just, as we're both here in the same place, which doesn't happen very often, we thought it would be nice to do this poem. There's two poems really. My poem is called I Am a Dog.
And my poem, surprisingly, is called I'm a Cat.
It goes like this. I am a dog, a barking dog, a leaping, growling, barking dog. Awake in the dark, growl at an owl dog, a scary, hairy, growling, yowling, you can't get past me, dog.
I am a cat. A mewing cat, a howling, yowling, mad moon cat, awake in the dark, prowl on the wall cat, a green-eyed, black-furred witch's cat.
I am a dog, a loving dog, a loyal, licking, loving dog, a squeeze me and cuddle me, hug me and snuggle me dog.
I am a cat, a comfort cat, a fat-tailed, curve-curled, purring cat, a sit-on-your-lap cat. I'll allow a long, slow stroke along my back.
I am a dog. An outdoor sort of dog. A racing you, chasing you outdoor sort of dog. A stick chasing, stick chewing, ball catching, fun loving, rolling in dead hedgehog and having fox poos.
I am a cat, a one eye on the fish pond cat, a cocked ear at the bird song cat, a practice hunting with a wool ball cat, a pat paw playing mouse dream cat, a leaving a mole on the mat sort of cat.
So in case you're not sure, I'm a best friend, waggy tail sort of dog. I'm your sort of dog. So I'm your dog.
And in case you're not sure, I'm a don't care cat. I let you look after me, but I'm my sort of cat, not an own sort of cat. Nothing like that.
Next we've got John Dougherty. Now, this is also another exciting thing. This happened actually during the course of this retreat. What can I tell you about him? The one thing really, he has also just won a prize. It's quite an important prize for picture books. It's called the Oscars Book Prize. He writes picture books as well as poetry books. Ladies and gentlemen, John Dougherty.
Thanks very much. He's right about Hello Magazine. It's really weird, but the thing is the prize was presented by Princess Eugenie. So Hello Magazine did this bit about what dress she was wearing and mentioned the book in it. That was weird. Anyway, yes, hello, my name's John Dougherty. You'll notice that a lot of people here have been in over 150 anthologies. I would like you to know that I have been in almost 2 anthologies. Thank you.
Yellow book.
So, yeah, and I have a yellow book. Just to confuse things, I'm going to read you a poem after this, and I'm going to sing you a song whose lyrics are also in this. I should say, I do often do funny poems. One I wrote just this morning goes, a kissing gate's a tacky way to circumvent a country wall. Alas, it seems I get no say. This place has got no style at all. Thank you. However, these are not funny poems like that, but I hope you'll enjoy them. For the second one, I've got 1 or 2 people who are going to come up and give me a hand. The first poem is called The Handicap, and it goes like this. The tube train rattles and batters and clatters along, chattering madly, its clamour a frantic percussion that drowns the sounds of tempted discussion, relentlessly pressing the passengers in on themselves until, confined in tiny cages, spheres of silence, like flies encased alive in amber, they sit in solitude, all alone together. Except for 2, whose hands dance excitedly, fingers flickering like firelight, palms flashing like silvered signals, sending carefree words across the carriage, heedless of the distant, unheard rumbling. The train slows, stops, and one, hands still dancing, stands, alights, and as the doors slide shut behind her, she looks at the silent, stiff mannequins within, grins, and through soundproof window and the roar of the engine, she says to her friend in words as clear as glass, "Wouldn't it be terrible to be handicapped?" Yeah, Roger reckons I won't need the microphone. I'll step away with it. If you can't hear me, just tell me and I'll step back in front of it. But this one is on the next page because I kind of feel they fit together thematically. It's called She's Beautiful and it goes like this. One more act for you, and then we're going to have a little break. And it's been a fantastic retreat for us this year because this year we have our first international guest. So we actually have somebody who is a big name in children's poetry in America. He comes from Seattle. First time he's been to the UK. I asked him about his first impressions. He said, I don't do impressions. He's had 13 books published in the US. He's been in about 150 here and in the States. He's visited over 500 schools in the years he's been going. He's absolutely fantastic. He's a great puppeteer. And it's Eric Odie.
Kim is here as well. We're having a lovely time, so thank you so much. We're going to head from the retreat. We're heading up to the Cotswolds for about another 5 days, and so we're having a wonderful time. So, as your ambassador from the States today, I thought I'd share with you a cowboy poem. This is a poem out of the first book of poetry I ever had published. The poem is called Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw. And as a cowboy poem, I do need a cowboy sound.
Yeah!
That'll work. Thank you. That's exactly. So every time I say the word cowboy, would you please respond with
yeah!
Outstanding. Now, Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw, he is the hero of this story. We need a hero sound, please. Woo! That'll work. Okay, woo! So every time I say Mulligan or Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw, I would love to hear woo! Very nice. And let's see, now Mulligan is a very small cowboy. How small is he? He's so small. No, that's okay. He's so small. He doesn't ride on a horse. He rides on a rat. So I need a rat sound, please. That's perfect. Okay. And let's see. So every time I say rat, we've got that. Oh, and now there are a lot of prairie dogs in this story. I understand. You know, you don't exactly have prairie dogs, right? Prairie dogs. They're not dogs. They're called prairie dogs because they make a barking sound. Yes, and they're actually small rodent-like creatures. They dig these elaborate tunnels underground. They live in families and communities, and that's why they're called. What? Oh, yeah. So okay, so yeah, so every time I say prairie dog, I would like to hear there. Okay, sorry, Lola, I'm sorry. And let's see, we need something for hat. I stole Trevor's hat, but we need something for hat. Whoop. Whoop. I like that'll work too. So every time I say hat, whoop. Okay, let's practice. So we need cowboy. Yeehaw. Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw. Whoop. Prairie dog. Rat. Hat. Whoop. Here we go. This is a poem called Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw. Whoop. The tiniest cowboy the world ever saw was Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw, who bathed in a teacup and rode on a rat, and wore very proudly a mighty small hat. Now Mulligan fancied a life on the range, but townfolk considered him silly and strange. They called him a dreamer, a fool, and a clown. "You're simply too small," said the people in town. "You can't brand a steer or deliver a calf. You can't mend a fence," said the folks with a laugh. They sneered at the way he would yodel and sing. They scoffed at the lasso he made out of string. But Mulligan said, as he stuck out his chin, "A winner don't quit, and a quitter don't win. You say what you will, I don't care about that. A cowboy is more than the size of his hat." And so life continued, as life often does, till early one morning the streets were abuzz and people were panicking uphill to down with news that the prairie dogs moved into town. They came without warning, 3,000 or more, invading the homes and the general store. They slipped into socks and the pockets of suits. They squeezed into boxes and barrels and boots. They slept under tables. They crept under chairs. They filled all the benches and stables and stairs, and no one in town seemed to know how to cope. Those critters were simply too tiny to rope. The sheriff then shouted, "We'll seek and we'll search. We'll clean out the barns and the school and the church. We'll round up them varmints. We'll get the job done." The folks tried their darndest, but caught not a one. But Mulligan Martinson said with a grin, "A winner don't quit, and a quitter don't win. As sure as a hound dog is riddled with fleas, I'll round up them critters as quick as you please." The townspeople chuckled, but said not a word, as Mulligan rode for that prairie dog herd. His boots in his stirrups, his string at his side, he guided that rat through the streets far and wide. He rode through the houses, the bank, and the jail, and he lassoed them dogs by the tip of the tail, and then one to the next like the cars of a train. He built him a 7-mile prairie dog chain. The people applauded, shouted and cheered. Into the sunset that herd disappeared. But that was the last that the town ever saw of Mulligan, Martinson, Marley, McGraw. The folks like to say he's still on the plains. He's guiding that herd with his hands on the reins. He left us a lesson, no doubt about that. A cowboy is more than the size of his hat. All right.
song actually in the second half. We're going to have a break now. Thank you very much, everybody. In about 15 minutes, have a little rest, have a stretch. Yellow. Okay, thank you.
Put some lights on.